Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Hek'ma Harrison, and Newy Scruggs.
Go time right here at the SWBC Podcast Studios at the world headquarters of the Dallas Cowboys. This show is the Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. Barry Church from the Cowboys Safeties here. Got Hek'ma Harrison here. I am Newy Scruggs. It is Wednesday. The Cowboys getting ready to host the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium on November 10th. And here we are, guys, 11 months into the 2024 year. An election has happened, and the Cowboys have yet to win a home game. Think of everything that has happened this year.
That's why I just thought that's why.
The Cowboys have not won a home game. Wow.
Man.
Yeah, man.
Was it last season? Was it 14 straight or something crazy? And then
17.
17, and then Green Bay came in, and then ever since then.
That's wild.
Yeah, that's what was that, 180? That's the 180 on
man,
right
that's wild right there, man. So the Eagles are favored in this football game. The Cowboys have won 5 of the last 6 meetings against Philadelphia, believe it or not. 6 straight home games against the Eagles. And that's their 6th longest active win streak in that series. Micah Parsons has missed 6 weeks of action. The Cowboys' outstanding pass rush specialist, their best defensive player. He practiced today.
We did. Okay.
So Micah Parsons could be back in the lineup for the Cowboys against the Eagles as Jalen Hurts, who uses his legs. Tush push is coming to town. Gentlemen, thoughts on Micah potentially being back?
Look, anytime you can get, a guy with the caliber of Micah Parsons back into your lineup, it's beneficial. It's going to help this defense out. Whatever the case may be, whether it's generating pressure, taking on double teams, triple teams, and allowing other guys to eat out there, he's going to be a positive for this defense if he's able to go in this game against Philadelphia. Now, when I look at it, do I think he's going to be the bazooka of old, the 100% bazooka where he's out there, even if it's double, triple team, still getting to the quarterback? I'm not so sure. Coming off a high ankle sprain, all it takes is one, wrong step or trip over somebody else, and that thing's re-aggravated. High ankle sprains are a tough thing to deal with. So, but I still believe, 75, 80% of Micah Parsons is still what you want on the football field, especially going against an offense as potent as Philadelphia. Because, as you see, Kellen Moore has those guys rolling right now. Whether it's the quarterback run, Saquon Barkley doing his thing out there, and of course you got the dangerous receivers on the outside, Smith and A.J. Brown. So you got to be able to generate pressure somewhere. I like what I saw from, Carl Lawson last week. He was able to get 2 sacks out there, beating his one-on-one opportunities out there. And with Parsons on the field as well, he should be able to generate more of those one-on-one opportunities. So that's just at least one other guy that can go out there and win for you defensively. But to me, overall, having Parsons back in the lineup, it's got to be a positive for the Cowboys if he's able to go.
And Barry, you said it all. That's for me. It's the only other angle I'm looking at is this for the offensive coordinator on the other side. You now have to account for his talent. Yep. So we do understand that teams that have come into games versus the Cowboys where Michael was playing, they had to scheme for him, roll coverage his way, do a lot of different things to make sure that he's not disruptive. I question the percentage he plays with. Are we going to get 85, 75? Where is he? Because how high ankle sprains just kind of disable a lot of players. That athleticism, that quickness, those are one of the things that really that's his game. Yeah. That's who he is in a nutshell, and you're used to seeing him fly around. If he's playing at 85% of himself, already in a position to where he's undersized, the offenses will take advantage of that. Yeah. And so my question is, from the beginning, how is Mike going to use him? Mike Zimmer. How is Mike going to use him? Is Mike going to have him stand up at the end where he has to take on blockers? Because that in that situation, I think that's where you get to the re-aggravation.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where you get to, okay, I'm stepping on a guy. Or am I using him as A-gap blitzes? Am I using him in other disguise looks and things like that where I know they're going to have to account for him? Because then that's where it starts to open up things for guys like DeMarvion Overshown. That's where you get an opportunity to see more of Eric Kendricks. That's where some of your defense defensive linemen that have been struggling now may not have to deal with the double teams that they've been dealing with, because now they have to relegate that extra guy to go towards number 11. Again, I just ask myself, what percentage of Micah are we getting back? And is this going to be like he's going to highlight on some packages, you know? Yeah. So, look, having him back can't hurt this team. That's for sure. This defense is struggling mightily. And you have a Philadelphia Eagles team that's going to come in here with a running game that is going to try and take advantage of you at every corner. All right? They're going to run up the clock. Mm-hmm. They want to ground and pound. And I ain't even worried about the tush push at this point. I don't think they'll be in the 31s or 4th and 1. I don't think they'll be in a position to do that unless they get down to the goal line. And you know how they like to operate down there. Buddy. But, it can't hurt. We absolutely need our guys back. I mean, Deron Bland, we need more. I mean, Tank Lawrence, we need Marshawn Nealon. We need guys to come back healthy, and be able to help this defense, because right now there's nothing you can hang your hat on going into this matchup.
You got to be able, and I know this is not a big part of Zim's scheme, but you got to kind of take a page out of that DQ book, and I believe you got to run some games with them. You got to run some stunts, whether it's a defensive end, D-tackle stunt. You can't just have a man line up and try to rush the quarterback from the outside. Just for that high ankle sprain, I just think if you run a little bit of games with him, have him twist inside, have him start on the outside to snap the ball, run a TE stunt, come back around on the inside, it'll just alleviate a lot of that pressure and keep him away from Lane Johnson. Just keep him away from Lane Johnson. That dude right there is a beast on that left side. And we know they've had their battles back and forth. And there's sometimes when Parsons is 100%, he's giving Lane Johnson all he wants. Right. But right now, not being 100%, keep him away from there. But I'm with you on this. Zim has to find a way to still use him as that chess piece, whether it's, off the edge, doing a TE stunt, lining them up over the center and letting them have a two-way go on that guy. But you got to use him as a chess piece, because if you just line them up on one side,
don't do it.
Philly's going to see that. And they're going to say, let's test him out. We're going to just run straight at him. We ain't going to let him use that speed to chase down Saquon Barkley from the backside. Let's just run straight at him and see how that ankle holds up. You got to be able to move around, in my opinion.
If the Cowboys get behind, you negate what you're the best at Micah Parsons anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's been at home this year. That's been an issue.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen games basically be decided before halftime show.
That is fact.
So they've got you got to at least be in the game, so you can make it effective. And was it 1 or 2 years ago when Sirianni just ran right at Parsons, and it wasn't pretty. It was not pretty at all. You start to think about the Cowboys' rushing offense has improved. It's now 31st, 82 yards a game. And the Eagles on the other side, my gosh, they're number 2, 174.
Man.
So we're in some ways, what has killed you all year long, this is the kind of matchup that you hate to see. Mm-hmm. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to use time of possession against you. You can't run the ball.
That's a fact. That is a fact.
God bless Micah Parsons. He's a football player. He's not a magician. And there's just so much help that you need here that I don't. He'll help because he's Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
But, brother, it's only so much you can do. There's just so many holes here. You could plug one here, but then there's something else that's popping over. I mean, it's just so much that
And we ain't even talking about the back end. This is a team, what was that, last week against Atlanta, who Drake London only played in, the first 2 series, I believe?
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins only missed 6 passes. 3 touchdowns. And now, if A.J. Brown's able to go, because I know he's a little bit questionable, coming off that knee injury last week, but you got A.J. Brown, top 3-5 receiver in the National Football League, paired with the Slim Reaper, Devontae Smith on the outside as well. Thank goodness I don't believe Goddard's going to be able to play. Hopefully not. But, I mean, this offense right now, man, it's like which way you want it. We can either get you with the run, Paul, or we can get you with the play action, and we got the receivers on the outside to do damage. Oh, by the way, we got a quarterback that if everything is locked up, man, he can escape.
Back end, front end, we've talked about that, and I think that's where you've been missing. I've been asking my questions to you because I think I know football well enough to know how it's supposed to work when you're in a 3-4 or 4-3. But again, that's why I point to Micah Parsons being up there and what offensive lines have to direct their attention to. I think he plugs a lot of those holes for us. But I think offensively, what Philadelphia presents is that running game that you just said is number 2 in the league behind the. I'm just guessing that it's Baltimore.
It's gotta be.
But the way that works, I believe, especially when I look at Baltimore. I think the effectiveness of Derrick Henry is the fact that everybody's looking at Lamar Jackson like he can burn us too. Well, Philadelphia kind of gives you that same dynamic, right? That you understand that Jalen Hurts, for all of his deficiencies as a quarterback, one thing he can do is run the football. And so Saquon and him is peanut butter and jelly, how that offense works together, and it threatens so many parts of your defense. You have to try and get pressure with your front four. We haven't been able to do that. You go back to that Atlanta game, Kirk Cousins was comfortable in the pocket. He was able to sit back and find guys like Drake London because he had all day to operate. Well, if you got another guy out there that's worrying you, concerning you, that's putting pressure on you, if Micah can come back and do that, I think that changes at least that dynamic of when the time clock goes off in your head when you have to get rid of the ball, and that helps your guys on the back end.
Can this defense disguise? In your opinion, like, because we've seen, I mean, it's like these quarterbacks are sitting up at the line and they're going, all right, well, they're in this coverage.
Yeah.
Like, you got to have a little bit of flavor to it. You can't just give the study guide to the man because they're going to pick you apart. These quarterbacks are too good in the National Football League to just say line up and what you're going to play. And these guys, we saw it the past couple weeks, they're going to pick you apart. There's got to be some type of disguise to this, just to confuse just a little bit. Give your defensive line just a tad second longer to be able to get there. You got to disguise something.
So you say disguise. Okay, Zim can come up with a great disguise. If guys don't do their job.
That's true, too.
Okay, how many times are you watching these games and you're seeing people not be alert?
Yeah.
Or they wheel route. You know, so
hey, my guy.
Right, so you're just seeing basic concepts. They're not doing, man.
Yeah.
The fundamentals here, what you see, it's not there. And it's a lot of bad football going on here.
Yeah, it is.
So, is this the week they turn around and compete? I don't know. Until you see it, you can't believe it.
Man.
Until you see it consistently. They made the Atlanta game close at the end, again, like they did the Baltimore game, but the competitive phase, man, you're not where you need to be. You have to shoot yourself a little bit, man. So it's tough, man. And the penalties. Man, when you see the penalty, what are you doing at home when you see these penalties, Hank?
I mean, I think that you're an undisciplined team. Bad teams have certain characteristics, and those are it. I mean, and no matter how you try and define it, whether you're pressing, whatever it is, those little nuanced things get you beat. No matter what level of football you're playing at, it's aggravating to start a game that you got to win. Like as soon as we get on the field, it's a penalty, right? How can we get a penalty on the kickoff?
Red zone.
So, we're down in the red zone. We're about to score, and we get a penalty. It's just, but it didn't just start with Mike. And that's the thing. Those kind of things didn't just start with Mike. It was during Garrett. It was before that. Yeah. You would see there are times that this team was one of the highest penalized teams in the NFL. And those traits and characteristics have just stayed. Those are the things that don't ever go away. I don't care who the coach has been. So
stay with what you're correct. This was a Garrett thing that we saw was a problem, but Mike was hired. Go back to stuff Todd Archer talks to me about when I would be defending Mike. You were hired to fix this. Yeah. You knew what you were walking into. This is a problem. 2020 was really bad on penalties, Mike's first year. And he talked about trying, teams I've had first years are probably, once we get the system and all that, no. This is the kind of stuff right now, Hek'ma, for a man who's got a job that's on the line, this is how you don't keep it.
Yeah.
This right here is how you don't keep it. When you just look up and you see these are simple disciplinary things that as a coaching staff they're not doing, and as a team unit, as a team, they haven't fixed it amongst each other in the locker room to look at somebody, hey, church, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's 3rd and 1. You got to be ready for it to try and pull you off. You got to be ready for it. How are we doing this? That kind of stuff where accountability to each other, the stuff that you need is not here. For a football team right now, and that's not picking on anybody. That's not right. That's not trying to slander anybody. We're just watching them play the kind of football that gets you beat.
Yeah. The hard thing about that is we talked about it yesterday when we went around the NFL and talked about other teams. The Los Angeles Rams and their victory over Seattle. You can't tell me who's playing over there for Los Angeles, but they're giving you fight. They're giving you all that they have. I mean, we say that they don't have that, but there's a man standing there. There's a man standing there in the Cowboy jersey that we just expect that he can't do it, and I don't believe that. Yeah. I absolutely do not believe that. And I go back to, I don't want to answer your question with a question, but you ask, can we disguise something? My question is, Barry, in your time in the NFL, describe for the people in the back, what is a base defense? What is your base?
Base defense is basically what the defenses I played in has always been a 4-3. Okay. So you got 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers, and then you got your secondary pieces.
So no matter what the down and distance is, if you get a base call, everybody, all 11 of y'all know exactly what that is. There's no guessing where you're supposed to go.
No stunting, no blitzing.
It's your base.
Base cover 3. Base cover 2. That's it.
That's it. And what I've been questioning this whole time is, what is their base? Like, when we get back to who we are and, blood to bone, we got to get a stop. What's our base? And I don't know what that is. I mean, we've seen them try to disguise, change up coverages and so many different things, but nothing is working. So I have no idea, coming into a game like this where you're going to have to stop the run. You said a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to have to move that safety up and bring him down in the box, and that still got 250 yards put on you on the ground.
And I think the frustrating part is we all understand here that they may not have the tools. The carpenter may not have his tools, what he wants in there, whether it's defensive line, secondary, linebackers, cats getting hurt. You may not have your tools. That's one thing. But it's another thing when you're hurting yourself with the simplest thing, alignments and your assignment. Like, you may not be the fastest guy. You may not be able to run with a Tyreek Hill like that, just man for man, run with him. But you're setting yourself up for failure when the play hasn't even started and your alignment's wrong. Right. Like that. And, we saw all the pick plays and all that stuff that Kirk Cousins was able to do. Like, these are the basic things that, even if you don't have the talent out there, you can't put yourself behind the 8 ball by all aligning on the same line and getting picked that way. Like, they're hurting themselves defensively pre-snap. And when you don't have the talent out there to overcome those things, we see what happens defensively. And offensively, it's the same thing with these pre-snap penalties, holding. You don't have the team to be able to overcome these self-inflicting injuries, and it's just mounting up. Like, you got to be able to do the little things right first. And then if you don't got the talent, you get beat. Man, look, it is what it is. Yeah. But you can't beat yourself pre-snap. You can't beat yourself before the ball has even gotten into play. And that's what this team has been doing to itself so far.
Habits and rituals. The habits and rituals that you need to play fundamentally sound football is escaped them this year very much. All right, let's get our first break in here. Micah Parsons podcast wore an interesting shirt. We'll dive into that. And I don't watch the debate shows, but I do see the clips on social media. Yeah. Church,
I did see one.
Church engaged.
For the first time.
Church engaged.
Usually I don't do that, man. But it just...
I love it.
It's Heck's fault, man.
I love it.
He said it to me. It's Heck's fault. I'm pointing the finger at Heck, man.
This is bigger than me.
I know who not to commit a crime with.
All right, come on out. They got us. Come on out, everybody. Come on out.
Let's dive into that next on the Players Lounge right here on Dallas Cowboys.
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle?
Visit blockchain.com/cowboys to get started.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Are you the 2024 Dallas Cowboys Fan of the Year? The Dallas Cowboys and Captain Morgan are celebrating extraordinary, inspiring, and original fans. Nominate yourself or the biggest Cowboys fan you know for a chance to be named the 2024 Fan of the Year and win prizes, including a trip to Super Bowl 59. Visit DallasCowboys.com/Fan of the Year. Go Cowboys! Back to the Players Lounge.
From my man Danny McCray. 'Tis the season for youth football and dance camps presented by Invisalign. Don't miss your chance to learn from the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders at dance camps on December 23rd and former NFL players at football camps on December 23rd and 27th. Celebrate the holidays with the Cowboys. Register today at dallascowboys.com/camps.
Thank you, Hek'ma Harrison. Barry Church is here. Former Cowboy safety. I'm Newy Scruggs. This is the Players Lounge brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. So Micah Parsons has his podcast and wore an interesting shirt that said, "Do more, say less." Micah back at practice with the Cowboys. And
I guess he's doing more if he's back out there, you know. I guess he's doing more. Still talking a lot, though.
Yeah, man. It's going to be real interesting to see if they make a coaching change and if they come in with a more heavy-handed coach.
I can see that.
Does that coach get in there and say something? I remember the former coach here who said, this is going to be a problem with Mike on the podcast. Hooker said something last year. Mm-hmm. Went away, but you know he had Diggs on there this year. But when you're not playing and the team is playing bad, you see what social media says. They don't like the optics of it.
Yeah, and it's like it's just a new day and age. You know, when I was playing, you know, nobody did those type of things, and now you got guys from other teams that you may be playing next week on your podcast, and I guess it's a new day and age. But to me, it just creates a little bit more distractions than need be. I mean, you talked about how they had Diggs on there, and maybe it was just just a thought kind of didn't kind of circulate in there. But right. You list the top 5 quarterbacks. And we all understand. Like, you in that locker room, no matter what's going on, you got to put your guy up top. You got to support you. I don't know how you feel in the back of your mind. You got to put your guy up top. And, of course, they listed their top 5, and I don't believe Dak Prescott was on that list when they did that. Carl. Which, once again, created more laps around, the media and just more distractions added to this team. And to me, it just brings more harm than, and I get it. Everybody's trying to get their own brand and get out there. Football, NFL stands for not for long. So you got to maximize your opportunity while you can. But, having a podcast and diving into the subjects that they do, and it just creates a little bit too much of a distraction for my taste. But, and again, it's a different day and age.
Man, it's that new school, old school mentality as it relates to today's players, and people just don't understand that these group of players don't have the same kind of fear instilled in them as guys used to. I mean, coaches used to be able to dog cuss guys up and down the sideline. Man, guys ain't going for that no more. I mean, even in high school, I mean, the way parents are today, you can't dog cuss somebody's child is out of alignment or not doing the right thing. I mean, that used to be called good coaching. Yeah, yeah, that's true. But these players don't care about that. They understand and have financial advisors that explain to them can this guy get rid of you or what? Mm-hmm. Even if they do get rid of you, they still got to pay you. So, exactly. I mean, it's a lot of those things that's in that too. And who doesn't have a podcast these days? What are you talking about? Everybody. And it's their way to combat and have an answer to what's being said on the outside. That's their defense to everything that's happening. And so, Micah don't care nothing about what nobody says. Mm-mm. He thought wearing that T-shirt was smart. You know,
what did the T-shirt say? Was it do more, say less?
Do more, say less. You know, so that's to him. I don't know if he owns the brand, so I'm not going to guess. But if he owned the brand, that's great. Marketing, you know, for your own stuff. I mean, that's what they're more in tune with. Guys are talking about generational wealth and things like that as it relates to playing this game. Not worried about what their legacy is going to be. Mm-hmm. That's completely different from guys like Michael Irvin, guys like Charles Haley. Mm-hmm. They were completely in a whole nother mode. It was all football. Yeah. And so when somebody sees something that Micah Parsons is doing, they think, oh, well, he's not 100% bought in on football. This is just what it is today.
Yes, it is.
This is the way that these guys operate, and that looks like poor leadership when you have what you consider your apex guy with the podcast not mentioning the highest paid player in the building amongst his elite or top 10 or top 5. I mean, look, the optics are bad, but I'm sorry, you're just not going to be able to stop it. If a new coach come in here and tells Micah he can't do his podcast, he'd probably laugh.
The platform has consequences.
Yeah.
And if Dak Prescott used a platform and said, you know what, man, let me go over the top 5 pass rushers in the game. You know, he's got Aiden Hutchinson. We're going to have Trey Hendricks on here. We got T.J. Watt, Myles Garrett. And then I'm going to throw out Will Anderson in Houston. You let him do that.
Yeah.
We already know what will happen. And I'm with you. It just comes in terms of you got to put your guy there just because it just.
It's off the strength. You got to. You got to. Even if you don't believe it. Like, you got to throw him out there, at least in the public. Just say, man, I got my top 5. These 4. Oh, and Dak Prescott. Like,
my guy.
You got to put
my guy
him out
here.
there.
I play with him each week.
That's what's helping you get to the destination you want to get to.
Yeah.
These other guys ain't doing that.
I'm not playing devil's advocate here when I say this. Yeah. I mean, you know when these guys, they know exactly what. I'm sure they talk about what they're going to talk about before they come on air. So they know whoever that top 10, if it doesn't include Dak, it's going to be a conversation piece.
Didn't they put Daniels from Washington in there?
Yes.
They did.
Yes.
Ain't made a Pro Bowl, ain't won a playoff.
He a baby.
Hadn't been to the playoffs. Just, hadn't.
Look, the optics are bad.
The consequences. And when I say the consequences of this is what people see about you. They all see it in the room. Mm-hmm. Hey, man, we don't. You know what? Us in the room. You don't really care about us. You care about your pod. You care about your numbers. That kind of thing. That you don't even use your platform to build us up, or that kind of thing. And it's the same way when these coaches go to the podium. Their words have consequences, and it reverberates. It's just like when I asked Schottenheimer about Schoonmaker, knowing whatever he said about Schoonmaker was going to be able to, lead us some way to think about how he's been playing. Yeah. He didn't come out, hey, man, he didn't only play 3 snaps in the last couple games, and he not getting it done. But he's like, he's got to play. He knew how to measure his words because they're going to be dissected. And when you're Micah Parsons and you are a star in the NFL, which he is, it's going to be dissected. And when you say that about him, it's going to be that way. And no different than if Dak is asked about Diggs, asked about him the same way. It's the same thing, man. It's when we saw people running for different offices out here. Things that you say, people are looking at it and they're hearing, they're piercing it, they're taking it. And Micah's not. He's a smart individual. This is a smart individual. And when you put yourself out there like that, even when he was naming his top 5, he's naming his pass rushers last year, and you're gonna leave off T.J. Watt.
Yeah, that was wild.
But what are we doing? What are we doing? And so it's not a good look, man. It's just because your quarterback catches hell everywhere.
And he takes it off.
Okay, your quarterback catches hell everywhere. I mean, James Jones gonna go on FS1 and say Dak quit on his team when he left the game with a hamstring injury. And then, you tweeted about it?
No, I did, because I just felt, and usually I don't dive into that type of stuff, man. Usually I'm just on there, let me hit the Players Lounge on there. But when I saw that, man, it was just like, and he was a former player. This is a guy that's played in National Football League for 9 years, and he understands how hard it is to get on the football field each and every week. I mean, and for him to go on there and basically just throw shade at the man's character, saying, hey, he quit on his team. Like, you ain't been in the trenches with this man. Like, you don't know anything that's going on, how hard it is for him to get out there on that football field each and every week. You weren't at the MRIs. You weren't in the training staff with Britt Brown and those guys diagnosing what he has and how bad it is. But you feel the need to go on national TV and go out there and say, hey, this man quit on his team. Just slandering the man's character like that. Of all people, this is Dak Prescott, who's been one of the most professional men I've ever been around when it comes to football. I mean, he was a leader when he stepped in here as a rookie. I mean, he had to go out there. Tony Romo got hurt. He stepped right in there and didn't miss a beat. You know, he led us to one of the best seasons we've ever had. And this is a guy that's also come back broken hand. You know, I'm going to come back and I'm going to still finish the season for these guys. I mean, he's gone through so much. Mother passing away. I mean, all these things.
Right.
Brother dying. He's still on the football field. But you going to tell me this man quit on his team over a hamstring? Man, like, it's just, to me, it was completely disrespectful and really out of pocket for a guy to use his platform to try to diminish a quarterback like that. I mean, it's just, and like we talked about, I mean, we understand what they're trying to do to get these ratings up and get people talking about it. And I fell into the trap. I fell right into it. But
you did.
But to me, it's just like, man, that just really was just like, man, of all people, that's who you want to try to slander like that? A man that's been through all that and still laces him up each and every Sunday that he's able to? That was just out of pocket to me.
I'm glad it came from you. I'm glad it came from you. I'm glad that you said it. I'm glad that people that have been in the fraternity of players that understand, like, that's a violation. I mean, and as a man, that I don't care if you played a sport or not, there's certain things and you can't put your vocabulary a certain way to say certain things. Those are fighting words on the street, and I'm not wishing any harm on anybody. That's not going to happen. But I think in the football context, you picked a fight with the wrong one. And I've seen, since I've been in this chair here at DallasCowboys.com, people are very selective with who they choose to disrespect, right? They know who to disrespect. I never heard anybody disrespect Dez, whether Dez, I never heard anybody, because chances are Dez will see you. Right?
Yeah.
And I don't know, Dak doesn't have that in him to be like that, but that's questioning his whole character integrity as a man, as a football player. And not only that, to the countless people that Dak Prescott, take care of, boy, you messing up the money. Don't you play with the bread, okay? Talking about Dak quit. I mean, you look at this kid in Indianapolis, the quarterback.
Anthony Richardson.
Anthony Richardson. He tapped out. That tapped out, right?
Kappa Alpha Psi.
That tapped out, right? This guy taps out in a situation like that, and now Joe Flacco his whole future is up for grabs because he admitted in a moment that he was tired. Now, you saw the play. You saw what he had to go, why he tapped out, right? But don't nobody care about that in the football sense, because one thing that you can't be is tired. And if you are tired, the one thing you can't do is admit that you're tired, right? And so for somebody to come back on Dak after everything that you've seen him go through to say that he quit, and you point his mama, his brother breaking his leg, the man tried to put his own foot back
on the sideline.
On the sideline, this man cried tears on that cart, not like a baby, like a man, because he gave it all that he could. Like, to me, like, so much criticism comes to Dak. It's not warranted. A lot of times people and he doesn't fire back at people. He doesn't have a podcast. So he ain't gonna, it's time to line up James Jones to make more of the circus continue. No, I just think that it was misplaced, it's misguided. But when you have shows like this with guys that played the game that are willing to disrespect each other, man, that really just pulls at me, man. And I hated to see that. And like I said, I'm glad you responded to it.
It's funny as Hek'ma saying that. We have a TV right here in the studios, plays NFL Network, and look who pops up there, Hek'ma.
Oh, shade. I was expecting something from him. That's his whole spiel. But James Jones, man, up to that point, is usually a guy, the voice of reason, the guy that's going to say, oh, no, this is what it really is. But for him to jump out the cake like that, man, at the wrong, like, that's crazy, man.
As a member of Omega Sci-Fi, to see another Omega man, James Jones, come off like that, I'm very disappointed. And I would tell him, like, straight up, man, that's some cat stuff.
Bush League stuff,
That's some cat stuff you did right there.
Yeah.
Because, first off, this is why guys hate the media. That's why players hate the media. And we have so many players now who have jumped into the media.
You said it made a cat.
Yes.
Yo.
Opposite of dog.
You
cat. That's cat right
Wow.
That's a cat move. Right you're going at another guy without just some. And I don't expect these guys to understand journalistic integrity. And I've worked with enough players where I will talk to guys. I remember times, man, where I would talk with Bart off the air about hey, this and that. And Marcus Spears, as these guys were getting into it. Man, you've got to be careful because this is what they call slander, bro. Yeah. You sitting up here saying this guy quit. You got no facts. You got no proof, no facts, no nothing. You just firing off at the hip like that because I played. I understand. My hand did that. Bro, you don't want to go down that road. You don't. And I've tried to save people. I remember when I used to do a show with Drew Pearson. Like, Drew would want to say something. Drew, you can't say that. Right. You're not in the Ring of Honor. We need to get you in. So you whatever you want to say, let me say it before you. Right? You try to protect people from themselves. Yeah. Nobody on this show is protecting these fools from themselves of saying this. And let's also dive a deeper whole level of it. Because damn it, I've seen too many black players come at me. Man, you guys in the black media, you guys are terrible. Look at your black ass. Yeah. Sitting up here putting that man down like that.
That's facts.
And you don't know anything, man. That disgusts me very much. Very much, man. Because you sitting up here shooting up your own. The same, I mean, dude, I've had many guys come at me. Ask Clarence, there's guys who've come at us. Hey, man, where are you at? You're not even trying to help us. You guys are players. Fraternity, right there, NFL player. You played with a quarterback, and you came at him like that for some TV show ratings and some clicks.
And he knows what that word means when you say somebody quit in a football sense.
That's like somebody spitting on you.
You calling that man a pussycat? Yeah. Okay.
The opposite of dog.
He out here robbing people of cat. I mean, you're going to a place, man, that you really, really, really better be. Even I know not to go with that one. Yeah. That's that. Once again, this is the problem of us throwing these people on TV with very little training and just letting them go. In a place like Fox, they just let them go, and they sit up there and they say that mess, man, and it's embarrassing. That's why I don't watch it. I've never seen that show full out. I know Acho. I like Acho personally, but I don't watch this stuff. I chatted with Shady McCoy and Acho last year at training camp because they were saying all that stuff at that. Didn't hold anything animosity, but there's a way you go about the business. There's a way I go about my job. And I tell people all the time, you want to get in this business, you have to ask yourself, how do I want to do this? And there's a way that I have decided I want to do it, which will never allow me to go on these types of shows or ever be anything. I will be, my little station of where I'm at is where I'm going to be. I'm not going to be anything else because I don't want to go there. Yeah. I don't want to do that for clicks. I don't want to do that, put anybody down and say anybody, well, you so-and-so, such and such, like the gentleman who wrote that mess about Joel Embiid and brought in his brother who passed away.
Absolutely.
The next thing you know, Joel Embiid pushed that dude. And he's going to lose $2 million because he went out there and did something that anybody who has family and a heart would have done. I don't want to be that kind of person.
And one of the things I also look at is, did anybody come to Dak's defense? Does any of his teammates come to his defense? That's my part in it.
That's the concerning part, man.
That's my part in it, because if you want to call him ass on television, and then you come out to practice and nobody at least charges this guy up. Again, man, I'm not talking about anything physical happen with anybody. It'd be crazy for that to be, but at least saying, hey, man, you can't even walk around here talking about our quarterback like that. Does anybody come to his defense and say, man, this, like you just said, hey, this guy's been the most professional guy we've seen since I've been here.
We're late on a break, but I've got a response to what you just said there. I got a response about that of players commenting on that. We'll do that next right here on the Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming on DallasCowboys.com.
Hey, Danny McCray here for Smoothie King. You know every great workout deserves a great reward. So treat yourself right with new coconut smoothie bowls. Made with real fruit, crunchy, purely Elizabeth granola, creamy coconut, and topped with the chocolate hazelnut or honey drizzle. With 2 new flavors, it's perfect for you and the workout buddy. So you both can stay on track even after you leave the track. Scoop up new coconut smoothie bowls Only at Smoothie King, the official smoothie of the Dallas Cowboys.
Hey y'all, Matt Pittman of Meat Church here. With football season kicking off, I'm already gearing up to bring the smoker back to AT&T Stadium for some epic tailgates. But with that Texas heat, it's crucial to keep my beer hand cramping cold. That's where Yeti's insulated Colster can cooler comes in clutch. This year, you can even get them with the iconic star engraved on the side. Licensed Yeti Cowboys gear is now available at Stadium Pro Shops, concessions, and on Yeti.com. Check it out today. Yeti, official cooler and drinkware of the Dallas Cowboys.
To kick off the 2024 NFL season, Boss teamed up with the Cowboys and Micah Parsons to launch an iconic apparel collection. The Boss Cowboys collection unites football and fashion while reflecting what it truly means to be a boss. Arriving just in time for the start of the season, the distinctive attire from the latest Boss Cowboys expansion offers sports aficionados and true bosses the chance to show their team spirit and style. Get yours today at nflshop.com/HugoBoss, HugoBoss.com, and Boss retail stores. # be your own boss.
Raising Cane's presents the other rules of football. Rule 1. Any broadcast without the express edition of cook-to-order Cane's chicken fingers is prohibited. Rule 12. No crinkle-cut fries, Texas toast, or craveable Cane's sauce constitutes an illegal formation. And Rule 31. Anybody who loves to feed their game face is an eligible receiver of Cane's. When it comes to winning game day, Cane's rules. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love. Go Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Capture a frame-worthy family holiday photo with Santa at the Star, presented by Monument Realty. Santa will be spreading holiday cheer at the Cowboy-themed cottage in the Star District from November 22nd through the 24th. For more information and to book your visit, head to thestardistrict.com/Santa.
Thank you, Hek'ma Harrison. Barry Church is here. I'm Newy Scruggs. All right, Hek'ma, and speaking about when you said, why didn't someone come to Dak's defense with James Jones? Yesterday was the first time I saw that clip. Mm-hmm. And the players were off yesterday. Now obviously, people had their own social media accounts, and they could come back and say something there. But here's also the next thing you do. Do you want to lay in the gutter and go give these people clicks by responding to them? Yeah. Because ultimately, who wins there? Right. They win. Mm-hmm. They win. It's almost. I mean, go back to you saw the video over the weekend. That dude following Jason Kelsey, calling his brother a derogatory slur, and then Jason takes the phone, slams it down, and he says, "Okay, who's that now?" Yeah. I don't know the kid's name, but Jason's got to come on TV and apologize for it because somebody wanted to mess around and find out. But I look at that. It's an interesting thing, Hek'ma. Do you go out here as a player and just say, "Hey, man, James Jones, you really a bunch of trash," knowing that here's a show nobody watches? And you know, how do you do it? No, you know, I mean, it's a very interesting thing. Now, in the locker room today, guys are getting asked about it right. Yeah, guys can be asked about it right now. It'd be interesting to see because I'll bring that up on the media match. Just what you said, man.
No, I think that Newy, you know, looking at your social media, you don't respond to a lot. But if it was somebody in the media that you had respect for, you knew was a reputable journalist that said something, you would respond to him, you know, because of it. Mm-hmm. I think players have this stance where, oh, you're beneath me, I won't even respond to you. But if it comes from another player that says that, like, you know what it means to be undrafted, work your butt off to make it. You know what it's like to have your forearm broken, tibia all these. You know the price that's paid. So if another Ronnie Lott says to you, Barry Church, you quit on your. Barry Church got something to say to Ronnie Lott. All right, that's facts. If you don't say it on Twitter, you see him at a golf tournament, it's gonna be words exchanged. And I don't know how Dak is gonna respond to it. He may not. You know, man, I got more money than you. I don't care about what you say. True. You know, but at the end of the day, it's a fraternity of players. And to me, I just look at this and say, man, so many times these guys get disrespected in the media, and maybe it's the fact that the players are saying, we're not going to give any credence to that. We're not going to give credit to that because all we're going to do is perpetuate it and keep it going. I get it. But sometimes you got to just, they got to stop taking shots at your guys.
Yeah, and that's one where it would be tough for like if I was in that situation for me not to to say something. Like I said something. I've been out of the league 5-6 years now, and to me it would be tough just because of what you just said, man. This is a guy that you the same fraternity. It ain't like he just was in and out for a coffee break in the league. Like he played for, like he understands. He won at the highest of levels, like what it takes to win a championship with Green Bay, do all that stuff. Yeah. And then you go out there and slander me like that.
Right.
When I could see if there was some beef between them. Man, that ain't like that, man. He ain't going out of his way talking crazy about other people. But you decided on your platform to go out there and slander that man's character for no apparent reason. All you had to say was, man, look, hamstring injury, man. Hey, hopefully he comes back. This team might struggle without him. You can go into the football aspect of it. Right. But to come at the man's character saying, he quit. Like I said earlier, that's like somebody spitting in your face. Like that is extremely disrespectful when you talk about football and somebody quitting on their team. Like that's one of the most disrespectful things you can say to a player. And for him to do that to a guy that's been nothing but the most professional guy when it comes to whether it's media, whether it's on the football field taking care of his guys, to me was extremely out of pocket because you don't do that to that type of man.
If you hear the dogs barking, you know you're leading the pack, and that comes with what Dak Prescott lives with. He handles it very well.
Man, I'm telling you, that bad.
Write that down.
You just drop him on there.
If you hear the dogs barking, come on, Newy, what you got?
I like it, man.
You have to rise above it. I'm just very disappointed because I just felt a member of Omega Psi Phi would comport themselves with a hell of a lot more class than that. One of our 4 cardinal principles is manhood.
Yeah.
And you attacked another man's manhood. And also the perseverance. We have seen Dak Prescott go through a lot in his life. Come on, man. Man ain't gonna quit on a hamstring like that just because you want to make some bread.
I ain't like it.
It's embarrassing. All right, we'll be back with another edition of the Players Lounge, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. Hek'ma Harrison, appreciate you being here. Barry Church, appreciate you being here. Sir. Chris Beam, Josh, Jazz, everybody that makes it happen will do that. I'll ask the question next on the Media Mash to Clarence Hill and others about, did anybody say anything?
Yeah, I want to know that one.
About James Jones's comments saying Dak Prescott quit on the team. So stick around for that right here on DallasCowboys.com.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!